Hello and welcome to another edition of Mexico News Network's Breaking News Business. I'm your host, Elliot Bullman. Before we start, remember to follow us on all our social media networks, Facebook, Twitter, and Google+. And you can catch us daily on our website, mexiconewsnetwork.com, for relevant stories and news. Let's start with today's show. In an angry response to President Enrique Peña Nieto's refusal to pay a penny towards his border wall, President Trump has threatened to impose a border adjustment tax on all Mexican imports. Trump raised the possibility last week of taxing all Mexican imports 20% in order to pay for construction of his border wall. White House spokesman Sean Spicer later said the tax was one of several strategies under consideration. However, Trump's insistence that a border tax would mean that Mexico is paying for the wall is hardly correct. While barriers to exporting would certainly hurt the Mexican economy, the actual people footing the bill would be in the United States. Since a border adjustment tax is paid for by companies selling goods in the United States, these companies would have to either absorb the new tax, which is unlikely, or pass the cost on to consumers in the form of higher prices to protect their profits. In either case, US consumers would end up paying higher prices to fund the tax, not Mexico. To illustrate my point, President Trump talks a lot about how cars that are made in Mexico and sold in the United States destroy American jobs. But he's completely missing the point. The vast majority of auto jobs in Mexico are devoted to making car parts, not building the autos themselves. And those parts are crucial to US auto plants. Only about 63,000 of the 766,000 auto industry jobs in Mexico are devoted to assembling passenger cars and trucks. That's just 8%. So Trump's plan to tax cars coming from Mexico to the US won't do very much for jobs. For well over 2 decades, there's been no such thing as an all-American car. Every car built in the United States contains at least 25% worth of parts from outside the country, and Mexico is a major source of those parts. Taxing Mexican parts could make US cars more expensive. That would hurt car buyers and ultimately US auto jobs. Automakers universally agree that opening manufacturing plants in Mexico doesn't cost US jobs. Manufacturers often shift the production of less expensive models to Mexico, so it frees up US workers to make higher priced vehicles. Despite Trump's threats, automakers are going ahead with their plans to invest in Mexico. Again, if you need further proof of what I'm saying, if President Trump goes through with a proposal to tax Mexican imports, US households could end up without their beloved guacamole during the Superbowl. In 2017, the US is expected to import up to 80% of its avocados from Mexico, according to Tom Bellamore, president of the California Avocado Commission. That equates to 2.14 billion pounds of avocados. Only 10% of the country's demand is currently met by domestically grown avocados, nearly all of that in California. One thing is for sure, the US cannot meet consumers' growing demand for avocados given current domestic production rates. I'd say it's all but impossible for California to get anywhere close to meeting the demand, Bellamore said. That leaves the supply and cost of avocados susceptible to border politics. Mexican avocado growers, however, remain optimistic that neither a wall nor a tax will keep avocados out of US grocery stores. And finally, let's have a look at the markets. The Mexican peso decreased 0.35% to 20.7113 from 20.7840 in the previous trading session. IPC Mexico decreased 0.69% to 47,092 from 47,421 in the previous trading session. This was all for today. Thank you for staying with us. I'm your host, Elliot Bullman. Remember to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Google+. And log on to MexicoNewsNetwork.com for more information on Mexico and the world. Until next time.